So for Halloween this year, Twiztid gave us a gift. For the 25th anniversary of Freekshow, they re-recorded the entire album, giving us Freekshow, Twiztid's version. Now this album, in other words, is basically called a redux, a redo, whatever you want to call it. Kinda like Roger Waters did with Dark Side of the Moon, where he did his own version of that classic album. Twiztid is doing it with this album. So for this, I did not listen to any of the singles prior to it, because I wanted to give it a complete blind listen, and after that, I feel like they did a great job reimagining such a beloved album by so many people, and I can see myself adding some of the newer ones to a playlist of songs to kick back and chill to, or whatever you want to call it. I don't listen to playlists normally. I normally do it for the flea market, so I could put them in for a flea market playlist. I don't know. Now, while there are a lot of things to praise about this album, there are some things that they fumbled on that could have made it, like, leagues better than what it became. Now, starting off with the intro, obviously, it's an intro. It's nothing special. Sounds pretty much the same to me, but whatever. Mutant X is a tough one because while there are some high points on it, like the chorus and Madrox's vocals being, like, nailing it on the head, there are some fumbles with it, I will say that. The few things I noticed, the intro piano, it sounded kind of flat, and then the instrumental just cowers behind the vocals afterwards. I don't really like that. I'd rather them being blended together. And also, Mono's new, like that deeper vocal he has now, it just does not work on some tracks, and this is the one where it did not really go well with it. We Don't Die is pretty much a classic in the Juggalo community, and I think it's probably one of the best songs to come out of that said community at any given time. And at the end of the day, with this rendition of it, they cooked. They did so damn good on this. Like, if they were going to get one song right, it had to be this, and they did. There are a couple songs on Freekshow that I would label as more of an experimental type of thing, and this is what I would call Fall Apart. It is one of the more experimental songs on the said album, and it has always been to me. It's like, ever since I got it, it always had a unique sound, and I love how they made both of their voices sound like a radio broadcast, almost in the way they did kind of back then. It was kind of more of a, I don't want to say a muffled, but it was definitely, there was some sort of filter effect, whatever you want to call it, on it. But they still kept that, plus the clarity. That's the best part of it. It kind of reminded me of the effect that a Shure Green Bullet mic can give you. If you don't know what that is, I think it's called the 520DX, but it's just nicknamed the Green Bullet. It's just a little dynamic microphone with a dial on it, and then a cable that goes, I think, to a 1/4 inch. It is beautiful. I used it when I did, when I produced the first version of Police Brutality for the band Pre-Baptist. On that single, the middle, like, interlude part is on that microphone, just because I thought it was sounded great, and it does. It's very much, you gotta know where to use certain microphones and certain effects, and that's what Fall Apart did. It's like using this kind of microphone. It kind of mixed like a 520DX Green Bullet's like overall tone and effect it gives, but yet has like some of the same clarity as a condenser or ribbon microphone, and it's just so impressive to me. Now this next one I never really was a fan of. Like, it's not just that it sounded bad, it's just I don't like it. Fuck on the First Date, I just never liked the song. It's always been at the bottom. I never really like songs that are fully about sex like that. Same with the reason I don't like, what is it, She Ain't Afraid. Honestly, the whole entire Tunnel of Love EP, stuff like, Hood Rats, kind of, that's kind of a weird one. It's like, that one I would put above this, but still not one of my favorites, but kind of get the idea. But they did a great job recreating the instrumental and the vocals, and they did another kind of intro at the beginning. That's the one that always, like, it throws you off, because it's like, what the hell's going on? And they kind of did the same thing again. One thing I did like, and this goes across the whole album, but it's more, shown on this said song, is that they did use the N-word. They did use that a couple times back then, like from the HOK days to kind of around here. I don't think they really did it much after 01 or 02 or anything, because anything after that you don't really hear it. And I do like that they're starting to, in the whatevers, in the live shows and the whatevers, ever since I've seen them in 2015, they've never said that word, and I kind of applaud them for that. That's pretty cool on their part. And they did switch it out with something safer. I like how they did it on the song, and they replaced the word, and it sounds pretty damn cool. Even though there are some Juggalo Puritans, gatekeepers, or overall bigots that will be offended by them switching to not use a slur. I've heard that at least a good handful of times, and it throws me off. It's like, wouldn't you want them to grow and be more mature and better? Because it's like, that was 25 years ago. They're completely different people now. I would hope they would not be using that word in this specific year. Like, goddamn. Do You Really Know is another one of these experimental tracks like Fall Apart, and I love what they did with it, giving it more of a fresh sound, yet keeping it classic at the same time. I will say Mono's verses sounded better than Madrox's, but the chorus overall sounded solid. It sounded amazing. And the problem with Madrox's verses, to me, is that the higher range vocals he does, while I like them, same kind of with Mono's at times, they just don't fit. You need to know where the ranges fit, and also it sounded a bit dry. It might have just been me listening to it and whatever, but it just sounded dry. It didn't sound as full or as fluttery or whatever you want to call it. Leave Me Alone was always a favorite of mine on the album, on the OG album, and is another one of my favorites on this one. It sounds so damn good. It's so energetic, like, across each one, and I'm impressed on how close they got it to be, like, as identical to the original, like down to the auto-tune, the distortion, and everything in between. Now, People Are Strange, as you know, I would hope you know, it is a Doors cover, but never really liked their take on it. I will say that, because the original song is a bit more whimsical. It's a bit more whimsical. This makes it, obviously, it matches the album more. I'm not a super fan of the gritty, dark version of it, but I will say the solo on it was a damn good touch on this. I think it would be hilarious and also really interesting if they took more of the approach that the Doors did with making it more of a whimsical-esque track. All I Ever Wanted still holds its ground, especially when you consider not having features on it, and to me it's honestly better. I think this is one of the ones where no features help it instead of dragging it down. Because the Clowns features, to me, you're going to hear me reference the Clowns a lot in the differing tracks and all that, but I think it's like you can't really tell the whole story of Freekshow. You can't go across this album specifically without mentioning them. It's like, love them or hate them, they were still kind of like a buddy-buddy system with them and Twiztid, I would say up until like 2001. It's like from like Most Tasteless to then, it was like Twiztid and ICP. It's like there had to be features going across each one, but then after that, they kind of got their own ground. They started doing their own stuff a lot better and a lot more experimental. But this is always one where I hated their features. Their features don't match Twiztid's like energy and stuff like this at all. Especially when it's like more the grit and grime of Twiztid's verses and all that stuff, and the feel of the instrumental itself. And then you have the Clowns coming on sounding like little goofy balls. Now we have the song, interlude, whatever you want to call it. It's called I Wanna Be. It's the Batman song on the album. It's still fun, not one of my favorites, but catchy beat. And also, I like how they fixed the verse at the end, because for one, it did have the N-word in it, but also, I just never understood it. Like, it never made sense going back and listening. I'm like, what does this mean? I love how they corrected it. It makes it sound a lot more put together like, grammatically. Bags, you can't go wrong with. They nailed the sound. It's another Smoker song, so it's like you can't really mess it up. You can't really mess up a Smoker song, but I love it. The vocals were blended well, and I love the piano on it as well. What the Dead Like is another song like All I Ever Wanted that still holds its own without features, and I will say, I love the guitar and the roughness on it. The vocals do blend well, but I will say, the restructuring of the song was a tiny bit off to me. Now, Empty has always been a filler song to me. It's always up in the air because it's not really good or bad, but it has that filler feel that I just feel like it's like the album could be good without it. Like it could be good with or without it. It's never really like a make or break situation, and I get the vibe with it. The vibe's good. They did really good on the filters and the mixing of the vocals and the instrumental. They're spot on. But it's just a song on the album that I could do without. Where it's going down, unfortunately to me, fumbles so hard. It's like hitting a brick wall at 100 miles an hour. While yes, their verses are solid and they sound amazing, and even the beat is good, I will say that, the song itself was carried by features. I can't deny it. The song was carried by the features. You had 3-6 on there, you had Blazin', you had ABK at the end. Now I can understand not getting all of 3-6 Mafia back, because unfortunately, some members like Gangsta Boo and Infamous have passed away, but still, they couldn't hit up DJ Paul, and why cut Blazin' ABK versus? They're buddy-buddy still. Broken Wings is another one of these experimental songs. I just never liked it. It's another filler. It's the same thing. And it is mixed well with the vocals being on point, but it just isn't for me. But I will say, what is the ending? Because that was not in the original one. To me, it sounds like a jab at Ouija Mac, and honestly, you know what? Good. It sounds like they were making fun of that, the one album, what the fuck was it? I think it's Corruptus or whatever the fuck. The weird analog horror one that was not analog horror at all. It sounded like a complete, like, kick to that. And you know what? Deserved. It was a shit album, and he deserves this shit for that one. Now, what's interesting here is Maniac Killa going from a Dark Lotus song, basically, to being more of a, like, a killer song in a way. It sounds stupid saying that, but the whole entire, like, theme and premise, whatever you want to call it, around the original Maniac Killa song, like, from the intro to everything, it was always about more of, like, the Lotus thing. It's like they said Lotus Pod, and they mentioned Dark Lotus in the intro so many times, but during some of the other stuff, they don't really mention it. So it just seems like one of these songs, it was just like, they just slapped the Lotus name on there just to get recognition, whatever you want to call it, blah blah blah. But I love how they restructured it into more of a serial killer song, and I love them for that. Because to me, I can't listen to the original. I cannot. I will never listen to the original again, really, because of Violent J having to have the longest and most boring fucking verse on anything. Now we have Different, the second to last song on the album. It is very much the superior version out of the two, more so for being more polished and warm. It just sounds full, it sounds warm, you can definitely melt everything together. And the guitar plays a big part in carrying the song, and kind of wrapping it all up in a little snuggly blanket, having it so well mixed, instead of the OG version honestly sounding like a cheese grater. I'm Alright is probably one of the best send-offs of an album. I gotta say it, regardless of genre or whatever, I feel like this one is such a great send-off track to the album, and I don't know if any of the other ones could have done that. Like the OG, while it is great, I will say, it did sound kind of flat, and this one, again, sounds so warm and full, and the more jazzy style to it fits Monoxide's newer range of vocals so well. And honestly, it's one of the best mixed songs on the album. But also, it is better to put in a playlist, because now you don't have 6 minutes of weird phone calls and silence and all that BS in it. And that, honestly, I can never put it in a playlist, because, like, when you're done listening to it, what is it? It's just silence. This one you can at least put in a playlist. It works. Now to scoring. First is the ear appeal. For the ear appeal score, I gotta give it a strong 6.5. Because while it did have some problems, like some things feeling a bit out of place at times, nothing was mixed poorly. I will say that nothing was mixed poorly enough to skip the songs or coil in disgust. Kinda like I did with The Knot. I'm not gonna lie, that was a fucking, like, car wreck of an album. This is how you do an album, people. The production, the mixing, and the mastering, it was all so spot on. Now for the cover and the physical side of it, because I wanted to start adding more of these, as you know, because it's important. I think that should be critiqued when you're reviewing an album. Especially now that a lot more people are doing physical releases again, thank the Lord. But yeah, the cover for me is a hit or miss. Because while it is a great painting, I will say that it is an amazing art rendition painting of the split faces. I feel like it could have just been a cool VIP version, or some sort of store variant, or hell, even if they did a record store day version of the album, make that the special cover. But I think it would have been cool if they took their faces now and did the same kind of split cover to kind of just give its flowers back to the OG one. And it is still available at time of recording for $15 on the store, so it's like not awful. That's just kind of what albums are going for nowadays for CD. It's between 10 to 15. Can't really be mad at it. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this a 7.5 score, because while they did do one hell of a job recreating their work from what is considered one of the Mount Rushmore worthy albums of psychopathic releases. There it is. What were your thoughts on the album? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What's your favorite and least favorite? And also, how do you feel about it compared to the original album? Are they on the same rank? Is it better? Is it worse? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.